Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our CCL MW2 launch tournament. Of course, my name is Visions. Alongside me, I have Andy. And, well, we've gotten through our upper bracket matches here, Andy. We saw a 3-0, of course, the winners final that we just got off with. And then right before that, we ended up seeing the 3-1 there for St. Clair. So now we'll see exactly what's going to end up playing out for us down in this lower bracket as Northwood are sitting nice and pretty. And now it's time to figure out how the rest of the tournament's going to unfold down low.
Yeah, very ups and downs, I will say, for St. Clair's day so far with that 3-1 barn burner versus UTC and then scraping by versus Northwood. And I say that very loosely because their only one big blowout was on that hotel map number 3. So, dipping down into the lower bracket where there's still a plethora of teams alive because, hey, that's how a bracket typically does work. Gonna have ourselves a little battle down here. Full Sail going up against VCU. FaZe Blue will be in this lobby, everybody. Okay, you came to the right place, but VCU just coming off of that map 5 barn burner versus Mars Hill. Again, shout out to Jamie for getting that roster together, but they did win that search and destroy. Map number 5, Austin, quite convincingly. They won it 6-1.
That's right. Quite convincingly ended up getting out that game 5. Now it's a matter of trying to bring that into this matchup to see if you can continue to make the run and to see if you can qualify for the losers quarters for tomorrow. But we are jumping right into the action. It's going to be an absolute banger here between these two. You'll see it. Full Sail Armada, of course, up against VCU. Let's get into it.
Oh, here on Mercado Los Almas for map number 1. Hard point. 7 hard points that you have to be wary of. Just a lot of different points of interest when it comes down to getting a lot of big-time money hills, if you will. P1, it's not one of those. So VCU going to be at least looking to control this alleyway ahead of 10, but it's really all Full Sail Armada that are in the prime position getting AS and D house in their favor.
Well, watching FaZe Blue, of course, should know him from the Warzone community. We'll see exactly what he can offer here in 4v4 competitive, but Edge up top will be able to find himself the first. Another player down low, already trying to set up some of those early rotations. You can see just how much influence is being put on the control of the house here. And we'll see who's going to be able to win on these gunfights. A lot of ARs down low and up top, but gunfights still yet to come through. There's the clearance. FaZe Blue gets it, and that's going to be decent control in and around now P2.
Oh man, Lovell just got completely swarmed by 3 individuals on the bottom side of Cantina. Things are absolutely, I hate to see there for Full Sail, who were previously in possession of this AS&D Cantina building, but VCU just hot off the presses are very quick to get themselves in for a decent amount of time, but still just about even. A lot of time to battle here. I
mean, what a break. It just feels like they kind of flood through, jump chow, and are able to get themselves in. Trophy system, of course, going to stop the stuns and nades from coming out, but it doesn't matter because the ARs up top and through mid-map are just completely mowing down this entire roster right now of VCU. So now maybe looking for just an early rotation to do, saying, all right, we're going to concede this time, but this is going to give a lot of space over to Full Sail Armada because no one's really watching exits.
No, they're all just hunkered inside of 10, and that is not necessarily always a good thing. FaZe Blue will end up finding at least the first blood. This alleyway will be the immediate look at here for Nick, who does take down Video up top. But this is all just isolated gunfight after isolated gunfight. A team kill is not going to help out the affairs, but VCU is still trying to trek on to make this a money hill.
Let's see if they can hold. Lavelle, 6 in a row, looking for kill number 7. Get the SAE. Jump chow is good. One more at the doorway, and it looks like the nade over the top has just done the job. A second. Just too easy. Lavelle for 3. Oh, they're just running at him one by one. Way too simple. Lavelle is 14-2, and he's on 9 in a row.
Yeah, 9 in a row. Fully streaked out of their eyeballs. Is going to break inside the hard point. He's going to soak up some time. Oh, there it goes. FaZe Blue blowing up cars. Oh, boy, you poor Mystical. But even more so than that, I mean, VCU were in for the initial time. They all set up inside of 10, and Full Sail just completely run them over. I mean, now Lovell is just kicking his feet up, having a chuckle inside the hard point, just chilling on that 9-3 while the rest of his teammates are just running amok through Mercado.
Listen, this could get terrifying very fast, and, well, Nick has just added to that. He's just found 3 off screen. I mean, FaZe Blue is going to try to get in there, but boy, oh boy. He'd have to cut through just about every single member, and well, he's good on the first 2. Gonna have to wait for that regen before he can really reach out, but while this happens, Nick is also now 1 off his streak as well.
Already has the cruise. Looking to get the SAE, but it's gonna be Meathead Semtex that does get the final blow there. Nick not even worried about waiting for the regen, just wanted to keep the barbershop in their favor. The jump chow is gonna be good. fully streaked out from 2 individuals early here in P4.
Well, Blue's doing just about everything he can, but his
Oh.
own trophy system's gonna betray him. Just everything going wrong right now, but VCU still find themselves at least in the point, but maintaining control and getting a setup has certainly been a little bit of a problem here for them thus far. 20 seconds to fight for it. Full Sail will take any second they can get at this point. They've got themselves a very solid cushion. But moving over towards new, already some new gunfights taking place in and around 10. And we'll see if maybe gunfights can finally start to come alive here for VCU.
13 and 10 for Blue, 6 and 10 for Gudge. Then Dragon and Video have a combined 9 and 24 KD ratio. It's just not enough productivity coming away from anybody besides Blue. And a lot of these challenges that VCU are kind of forcing themselves to take are all in isolated format. They're finding themselves in for P5 initially, but they're all essentially looking at the same thing. A little late to pick up the flank, and the streaks are in. Lavelle will find 2.
Wonder if there had to have been some miscommunication there. Trophy systems, down, but everyone kind of just not moving into 10. Either way, it allows the side of Full Sail Armada to move in. Nick is just finding kills he shouldn't. I mean, come on. 3 in a row now for him. Regen's out. Jump Chow's in. I mean, it's just like clockwork. No way, Nick. Oh, Dolphin dives across, finessing his life, ready to reach out the next. Oh, this is just absolutely insane right now. And Full Sail are back on the time for potential scrap.
Certain amount of frustration must be setting in here for VCU. That is now the 3rd hard point in this first set, Austin, that they had the initial setup for, but got completely broken this time by a streak and just overall gun presence on this map by the Armada of Full Sail. Back over towards the Cantina here for P6. This one's going to be up top, so very difficult to try to break, especially when trophy systems are down.
Exactly. I mean, you really just have to get to the building. That's like the hardest step, and then once you're in, then you got to win the gunfight, so we'll see if VCU can maybe finally hold on to their tight setup that they love to continue to do. They just need to find trades. You need trades to come through, and, well, you only get one. And ends up coming in inside the point. Now Blue's going to have to make up for it here.
Shots down low, won't be able to get the first player, but, I mean, you don't even have to challenge if you're V-head. The job is done. The double challenge broken up top Cantina here at P6, and all this is going to stem past 120 points for a lead for the final hill in this rotation. The Armada of Full Sail already threatening to be at 200 points and climbing on up. VCU forced to chalk it. They're spawning out in Narnia. They have to try to win these battles in the middle of the map, but Lovell is snapping. He's piecing. 21 and 8 for the kid.
Oh, they're feeling themselves all right. Nick is going to have to run away from the car. He's weak. He's tagged. And, well, the cover fire just ends up coming in, but there's a big moment. Video Streams gets himself a double, make it a triple. That's one of the better moments we've seen so far. Now a chance to try to get the rest of the support off spawn, but look at Lavelle. He's been able to flank all the way around. He's got a great timing, but doesn't finish off phase Blue. Still more players to deal with over to the left, but the streaks come in. Information should be there. Gunfights now just need to be won, but VCU, they need every single second they can get.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to be saying here through about 6.5 hard points that VCU are kind of pushed up against the wall, and they have to play just damn near flawless hard point going forward, but that's exactly what it needs to be. 20 seconds should be conceded here at the end of the first set of hard points, and VCU will be able to encroach over the 100-point mark, but you're still down considerably. About 80 points will be the deficit going in towards the second set, Austin.
Let's see if they can be just as good on P1 as they were on P6. One of the better holds, but one of the more money hills on the map. This is where it gets kind of a little scrappy for them and a little difficult, but streaks could maybe be in play. Video Streams is on a 5. That could be their window to start to slowly mount back, but as I say it, words come out of my mouth. It's 4 down. Full Sail Armada back in control. Trophy systems in, and they know exactly where they're spawning.
And this is what's so damning and alarming for VCU is that Full Sail are actually hunkering down inside P1 and getting time off it as well. Why is that the case? Because you have roaming members like Lavelle that is just coming in and out of Barbershop, and they just completely overlook that Mystical's playing a head glitch in the market side, finds 3. Dragon will, of course, find that trade, but it's a consolation trade at that as Full Sail get closer to 220.
Yeah, Full Sail have just about made a highlight reel out of this bat number 1. But still, not over just yet. Looking for some kind of life from any rotation here. If you can maybe just get a little bit more involvement from the subs in and around the point, that could be the play. Gudge, let's see what he can do. Down low, he knows the trophy system set up. He's got to know there's so many members in and around the point. He's just got to try to win this battle inside, but they're going to know exactly where he is. He touched, he contested. He's waiting for his teammates, but no kills are coming in, and while this happens, I mean, Full Sail are very happy about the time being collected. They'll find one. Gudge will get a pre-fire in the second, That's a big moment in the hill to at least get some control, but Lavelle looking to get it right back. Oh, no,
Oh!
Lavelle! Come on! We're only human.
There's another 9 spree, casually, lapping their own streaks, get themselves another cruise missile, and I don't even think it's going to be required, really. Going forward, it's just blue inside the hardpoint. Some help is also starting to come through in the AS&D and through the tunnel side. Still have to get Mystical out from this hardpoint. Blue playing the back bar will be able to get that final kill. That should be the hardpoint conceded. Just 20 seconds required for the Armada to take map 1.
100-point differential. This rotation is going to have to be absolutely perfect. 20 seconds, that's all that's needed. And, well, the setup inside of Tin, it's looking pretty solid at the moment. But, hey, here's a big moment maybe for Dragon Dynode, but can only get one and then the quick trade. But here we go. In the back, 3 in a row. Video Streams has actually kicked things up a little bit of a notch, but the challenge going to come to him. Jumping right over his sight will be an easy pickup, and now just 15 seconds away from a map number 1. Still an attempt to try to break, but the setup inside going to come down to Mystical to see if he can hold on. Support coming off spawn, but someone's got to touch. Someone's got to come in. Pistol in hand. Mystical says good night. Body shots come out. And map number 1 is convincing as ever. Full Sail Armada, so thank you very much.
They were just running around like it was almost a pub lobby, Austin. That was just gross. The amount of gunfights that were coming through, being forced, even from this guy, got the best play on your screen. It's just Nick, who again, just at very low HP, was still holding in a very aggressive angle. Jump challenges there for the third as well. I mean, you had, just even looking at it, a 5 spree, a 9 spree, and a 7 spree. And not to mention how Lavelle, that's not just a single 9 spree. No sirree. No, Lavelle went on 2 9 sprees, just was running amok through VCU. It's very nice to be able to see, the returning of Full Sail Armada. This is not the first time that we have seen them in a college COD event, but not as strong as what they just showcased there on the Mercado map.
Yeah, strong's definitely one word you could use there, without a doubt. It looked very convincing. I mean, the whole way through, there was a certain point where they just stopped rotating early because they knew they could just always play through the scrap time and just simply break through, pure force of gunfights. And that obviously worked out for them quite a few times there. So we'll take a look at the scoreboard here another time to basically just gas at the Full Sail Armada guys just a little bit more, as if we haven't enough. But Lavelle obviously jumping off the page here with the best play at the end. 29 non-traded kills, double 9 sprees, 3,400 damage. I mean, I can just keep going on here, Andy.
He even got a minute in the hill. Like, this dude is slaying, sprinting, full tack sprinting through the map, finding multi-kills, and he's getting OBJ time? I want this AR Flex to play with me every single day. I mean, that is just absurd stuff, and you could just see just the lack of productivity that's coming through from some individuals from VCU. Not for a lack of trying. Dragon was putting themselves in prime position time and time again, surely, but it was just the gunfights, the team shots, the cover fire, whatever may have you. That Full Sail was just putting together. It was just that much better of VCU. And it does need to be talked about, especially for VCU. When we first saw this college kind of be brought on the map for College Warzone, funny enough, with Blue, a realm that they're very, very familiar with. He was coaching Dragon, and I'm not too sure if this is maybe one of the players that actually has a name now, but he was like user and a whole bunch of numbers. We've seen that in plenty of our COD lobbies before, and he was really coaching, really talking them through where they need to be, what they need to be doing. And it's not like Blue is shied away from 4v4 in competitive multiplayer Call of Duty over the years, but it's a little bit more of unknown territory for Blue, especially in this current day and age.
Yeah, I think it's a really valid point. I mean, like, to that same note as well, it's not always easy to kind of maybe watch what your teammates are doing, try to help them, become better at what they're doing individually, while still keeping, your own gameplay up to where you expect it to be, right? You're using a lot more of your focus, kind of always maybe shot calling, IGLing a little bit more, so it becomes a little bit more difficult. So I think it's very valid, and he is the person that you're going to have to lean on, I feel like, in this series if something special happens. But we'll take a look at the map set. Missed it the first time around. The players were just ready to jump in and go. And, well, we got to see Crown Raceway at least once already today, and now this time we'll get a little taste of it in Search and Destroy here for our next map, Andy.
Yeah, Crown Raceway, as far as the Search and Destroy map is concerned, can get a little hairy. Again, when it comes down to whether or not these players are actually abiding to the GAs that are currently in place for North America challengers, then there will be at least a sniper rifle that is allowed. But these very long lines of sight when it comes down to these first bloods, whether you're looking it through the P3, the garage, if you will, if not watching it across that P1 lane, That honestly could make or break a lot of these different rounds. You can provide so much space with just finding that long line of sight, that first blood, so you can either get it done with the sniper rifle or the TAC-56. Both are quite viable here in Search and Destroy on Crown.
Absolutely, they're very viable. I think, like you said, there's so many routes and so many different ways that you can kind of make plays happen with dead silence, especially, right? Like there's a lot of ways you can slip through, and it's not always easy to kind of cover everything. And when we talk about, playing to the bomb sites, it's not always easy playing inside a white room as well with all those different headies getting into there. You have to use smoke to utilize it, and then once you get a bomb down there, I feel like that's when you're kind of set up a little bit better, because there's like 4 different entryways. You can flank if you want to, you can reposition. It gives you a lot of different bomb checks as well, depending on where you're positioned. So this is going to be an interesting one, because now we'll see if VCU is more of an S&D team, maybe more than Respawn. I mean, it would not be the first team that we've seen, within the collegiate scene for Call of Duty that has maybe suffered a little bit in the respawns, but has been, absolutely fantastic when it comes to the Search and Destroy. So we'll see how much their plays have been refined, especially on a map maybe they're not so used to playing as well.
Yeah, and to even speak more on that as well, I think that Crown, as far as a map is concerned for Search and Destroy, might honestly showcase a lot of those points to be exploited. This is a very easy map to get lost in. Offense first here for Full Sail. Looking through the middle of the map, the B bomb site is obviously going to be the favorite out of the 2 to hit.
Well, it wouldn't be a phase member without a sniper in the hands, right? That's just absolutely on brand here for Blue. So we'll see if he can maybe work some picks. Meanwhile, stuns and nades go out, and the bomb will go down. Skull needs to get out, and he's going to get excellent help from Lavelle. Bomb now planted.
Isco just continues to hit it over inside the window. Completely loses his head. Now it's Lavelle. In a post-plant situation, is just playing over by these tire racks. He's going to get scouted out. Nice resurgence coming through from VCU to retake this BS&D after losing first blood.
Exactly. Even after just losing, I think, the last map the way that you did, just to come in with that kind of, first round is huge for your mental. And Gudge, of course, picking up 3 of those 4 kills. So it's very nice to get involved that early on. And I think when you see that team play against you the way they just did, you just need to post up and kind of play a little bit slower and let them challenge you like they just did.
Yeah. So it's the bait in the switch is you just holding a corner.
Sure.
That's sometimes all that's really required, especially for a defensive team here on Crown, where you have these longer lines of sight available to you, knowing damn well that the offense needs to aggress to you first and foremost. I love this defensive first look here for Full Sail. Just everybody looking at B, knowing that VCU want this bomb site.
Well, Nick is going to bring out a scope of his own. The smoke comes through. Gudge is just going to hit it, no fear, bomb in hand, and, well, video streams also. Will they even us up, but how about that? Nick for 2 inside the site, ready for the quick chow to come through the side door. It won't come through immediately, but Blue still got a sniper of his own.
Picks up a Vaznev, so, I was going to say the flexibility to get an SMG up close and personal was there, but after that first blood from Nick, that was just a wonderful spread across the map in a mid-round analysis fully for Full Sail, just making sure that they get this trailer back in their favor, not allowing Blue to get that free rotation over towards the AS&D. But again, that all just comes through the overall chaos that is the 50-50 battle in the middle of the map. We'll have to see if any team starts to send players on the flank and maybe try to play a time before they assault one of these sites.
Well, defense so far has been back-to-back. We'll see if that continues. Nick's been pretty good with a sniper, at least in the last round. He got 3 of the 4, and, well, Stun's going to come over the top. He's got a nice little off angle in case someone does decide to peek out through that right side. Meanwhile, you can see all the way in the back here, Meathead has used his dead silence. He's looking to try to make some kind of a flank play, but while this happens, he is going to lose one of his teammates.
Oh, Nick!
My God.
Oh, video, you knew that was being held the entire time. Now the collapse on the opposite side for Meathead's flank completely paying off. FaZe Blue 1v3 for the clutch. Only really has a pistol to do with. Or this nice little ACOG sniper. Look, this thing is deadly, and he will take down Meathead 1v2.
Yeah, they knew he was there, and he just needs one shot. That's it. But here we go. Dead silence. Nick is coming around the outside, and we'll be slowly kind of chasing him down, but he doesn't know it. He is evading him. Now inside the site, shots come through. The collapse and the pinch is there as well. The follow-up just in case things go awry. But either way, we'll be solid. And, well, the first offense also going to be one here for Full Sail.
And I really like that, again, coming through from Meathead, right? You know, that's exactly what I was asking for offensively, one of these teams to maybe try to toy around with. Was, you know, sending an SMG on a very long route, obviously fully expending the dead silence just to make it all the way over by the ramp. But, you know, the moment you get Meathead back there, you just wait for the collapse, the confirmation of how many players that Nick was seeing over by that trackside lane. Meathead just comes alive. Only needed to find one, gets that kill, and the collapse soon to follow. A big offensive round win to swing this map in a one-round affair.
Well, it looks like it's going to be the target to try something different. The difficulty is you can just hold this cross like Meathead is doing, and unless you can come down kind of this staircase here in front of him and beam him off with the heady, that's kind of your entryway into the site. He is the only defender, so if they can just get one clean trade, this is still a manageable push into A.
I don't like how hesitant all of Full Sail are. I mean, you haven't seen anybody over by B. Now, Meathead, he does get the first. Mystical will be traded on out. You should know that this is a lot of coverage for VCU going over by the cocktail trailer.
Yeah, no one expects Meathead to be here, and now he gets to position himself in the back, but it's going to be a call to move back over to B. And you take a look at least the minimap right now, everyone defensively here for Full Sail has backed themselves up to this A site, still thinking that the hit is coming here. Meanwhile, he has now been cleared out, and Blue just hits a hell of a shot onto Nick. That's a big player to eliminate as this bomb will go down.
Now this is all going to be isolated from two different sides of the map. Meathead is all the way over by the A-bomb still, as Lavelle is pushing through the trackside tire racks. Oh, spot Dragon, he'll get that kill, but there's Blue close range with the sniper rifle. We'll take him down. This is Meathead, 20 seconds to try to make a play happen. Just trying to find where these kills are located at, but Blue Video just completely giving up the space, waiting for the challenge, won't be able to find it. And that's a great rotation as a whole for VCU as an offense. Look, you lost first blood. You weren't able to get the trade on the Meathead. Blue does find one kill in the middle of the map and completely covers it and calls it. You said it wonderfully, Austin. Look, the B site, it's completely open. Blue was in the white room, in the center of the white room at that, finds the next kill, the bomb goes down. And from there on out, it was just Full Sail, what felt like an uphill battle trying to get that round back.
Yeah, absolutely. Big stuff coming in here for VCU, showing us that, hey, listen, they can fight back here in the search and destroy. Let's see if they can start to take control of it. Blue, not going to put the sniper down. I can't imagine he will for the remaining of the S&D match, but we'll have to see. He is on a bit of a spree, and maybe that could be a bit of a window to gain some success. But how about this? That's going to be Dragon Dino finding a kill, backing out. Mystical's caught between a rock and a hard place right now. Does not have a whole lot of support, but no one's been able to finish him off, and he does get the regen in.
Blue's trying to push for this trailer, and Meathead again is just playing the cross. That's the trap card that Blue had sprung upon himself. Allows Nick to get up to this AS&D. Allow to get the bomb plant. Now the pinch needs to be on for Gudge and Video.
Nice kill on the back. Gudge finds one. Oh, off screen. Video streams, able to get the second. Now a 1v2 for Meathead. He's got a smoke, and he's got a nade to work with here. 30 seconds left on this bomb to try to get it defused. Gudge is going to drop. 1 versus 1. Chow around the outside. Chooses wrong, but he's going to be able to spot him. 20 seconds left. He's going to smoke himself out. Going to say, come play with me in the smoke. I dare you. Semtex comes through. Pushes him off the bomb, but no! Video streams, reads him in the back, and will be able to stick the defuse.
Wow, that's just absurd. Nice little pirouette here at the end while Video gets the defuse as well. And that's just one of those circumstances that you look at in a 2v odd situation and just how isolated both Gudge and Video were from one another. But, I mean, it's really just Gudge and towards the back gets that first kill. And that's all the information you needed with Video taking down Nick over by the staircase. And from there on out, you just have to be able to toy around with as much time as you have. And maybe try to get some utility out. And, well, that's exactly what was offered from Meathead there at the very end. The smoke, the Semtex, giving up the space, just making it very, very difficult to get that final kill as Video will find 2 in that round specifically. VCU flipped the lead. They lead by 1.
All right, VCU, I see you. Keeping this one competitive here in the search and destroy. Certainly have done at least a little bit of their homework. We're starting to see a little bit more of that ice come through here. Some of these big moments at the end. But a very slow approach. Last time it was a little bit faster over to A. This time it feels like they want to try to at least scout out, hey, how many players do they have by A? Is this still doable? Can we push through? But everyone on Full Sail not going to budge, just going to simply set up and hold.
What are we waiting for here, VCU? Seeing if anybody's going to be pushing through the middle of the map. It's not going to be the case. Lavelle's actually in a 1-for-1 position. Maybe if the hit does come through over by B, everybody more or less in a 1-for-1 position, and Nick finds first blood, Meathead for his second, it's all gone awry.
4v2. Meathead. Scott Teddy says, hey, I want to keep challenging. I want to keep looking. Oh, I feel like he knows someone's close, but there he goes. Finally able to get him. He knew he could smell him. Just didn't know exactly where he was. But now the bomb's going to go down. Dragon Dino, maybe if he can burn enough time off the clock and then check really late if they're not on it, there's a chance here, but he's got no dead silence.
Yeah, dead silence was used to make this play happen. And he has a Vaznev. Unbeknownst to him, he was going to get pinched there at the end, but Mystical just wins the heads-up gunfight right then and there. A lot of time to be expended here, just waiting for some dead silence charges. But yeah, I mean, that right there for VCU as an offense, Austin, just does not work out again. They try to get trailer back in their favor. They continue to try to brute force through that A lane. And they just completely get caught out by an SMG and dead silence, just completely breaking cameras and winning gunfights, laying prone on the trailer walk side. It's just one of those things you have to be very wary of. Your stuns need to be on point. If not, you need to fly double challenge out in these very wanted points of interest to be able to get the numbers in your favor if you're trying to assault the A-bomb.
Absolutely. The 3-3. VCU is still going toe-to-toe here. And the snipers have been fairly good, but Blue hasn't been as active these last couple of rounds. He was on that 4 spree. Yet to find one of the last 2. We'll see if that changes. Smoke's going to come out, so maybe just cause a little bit of a diversion here on A, and then it's going to draw some members over. Meanwhile, Meathead's going to be able to throw a nade over the top, but Trophy's going to keep him very safe around this B site. However, you have been able to at least get yourself a bit of a forward position.
Mystical's going to need some help over here if he wants to challenge out the window, but, how?
I don't know.
What? That would have been a trophy or something. I don't have...
Oh! Blue! He's going to snap on one. He's going to have dead silence to work with here as well, and he's going to pop it. So here we go. Blue, a chance to be able to find a massive round. He's going to do a lot of swapping back and forth. Goes to the pistol. Takes it head on, but it's a nice little bait and switch through the doorway. Beautifully done here for Full Sail to use their numbers correctly in the 1v2.
I can never count Blue out in one of these clutch situations, right? I mean, sniper, pistol, dude plays so much Warzone that, I mean, in that weapon combination, I just feel like that anything would have been possible. But goes for the prone check. Can't get the kill. The bait and switch through White Room better coming through for the Armada out of Full Sail. But yeah, I mean, you want to talk about productivity in isolating a lot of these picks. Look no further than Nick. He's on 4 in a row, mostly, actually, no, all with the boomstick, I want to say, barring that first round. Just really making VCU second guess where a lot of these players might be putting themselves at defensively.
Smoke, just waiting for it to dissipate so you can actually figure out where everyone is. Gudge, though, he's just going to run right through, no fear.
Check left.
Is he going to check his corners? It looks like Video Streams is able to get one. So he's now got himself pushed up all the way. He can pop up and kill anyone who peeks through the window. But it looks like this bomb should go down.
That barrel poking through the window allows Mystical to get the free trade. 3v3. Ample time left in this round. Yo, just slow rolling. Peeker's advantage will be there, but trade still coming through.
4 in a row for Nick. Trying to break into the site in the 2 versus 2. 29 seconds on the clock. He's going to spot Blue, but the team shots come through right before the challenge, and now on the back, Meathead. Oh, the shot over the top will make sure Meathead will not find any kind of a 1v2, and we continue to go back and forth as we're all tied up at 4.
I mean, Blue, again, you know, he just really probably wishes he could be spawning in with 2 main weapons. Picks up an M4, beams the first, finds the trade, and then quick swaps to the sniper rifle, and then completely beams the last. It's wonderfully done out there to make sure that there were no antics that Nick was going to start putting together for Full Sail on the backside of that window. Evening things up again there in round number 8. Round number 9 is going to be an offensive round here for the Armada. No one was really surprised. A lot of big focus going over towards the middle of the map. Video will be watching at A-Cross.
Meathead's just about went here every single round. We'll see if they catch on to that. That's a good gunfight there from Lavelle. Going to take out one of the key players who's been making some routes happen here on the map, but Meathead has pushed all the way up. He's going to give his bomb planter a very free plant, but Meathead pops the dead. He looks like he wants to make a play.
Got to be careful, though. I mean, you could want to make a play here, but you don't know what's on the other side of all these corners. You got to check them all so flawlessly, and by the time that he starts working his way through, dead silence is already gone.
Now, another 1v3. Blue's gotten a kill here and there in some of these scenarios, but hasn't really been able to fully finish it off. No dead silence, but does have at least a tactical and a lethal to work with. Lavelle, though, cheeky little off angle. Blue's going to look for a little jump shot here, and I think Lavelle's going to pay his respects and say, listen, this guy might push me, just watch me. I'm not going to chow him. And he's going to dolphin dive across. Now time just dwindled a little bit too low here for Blue to do anything else. Tries to go for the shot, won't happen. Full sail, still maintaining control, up 5-4.
I was say I've seen 360 no scope, so the 360 fragmentation grenade, that would have been a new one right there. But yeah, I mean, Lavelle just continuing on with their devious ways, walking away from that map number 1 on Mercado, just being annoying, right? I mean, not popping off to the same similarities of what we saw there on the hard point, but I mean, even considerably dictating space in the middle of the map. Because I mean, if you are able to find where Nick is sniping at, and maybe find Meathead playing in those corners, you always kind of forget about where these ARs are located at between Mystical and Lavelle.
All right, back to A we go. This time it looks like it's coming with a little bit more of an identity. Not just kind of posturing, are we going to go, are we not? But Meathead has got the angle to stop the entire thing. You got to make sure you trade this kill. That is the importance of this play. First kill is there. Jump chow comes through, and Blue is able to get in there for the health. That is critical. A may be an option, but you got to worry about the flank inside the trailer. Nick's able to find one more, and just like that, they get collapsed on. They'll all drop, and Full Sail Armada will be able to steal away map number 2 after a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, tip your hat to Meathead just being that sole A defender, huh? Because it just felt like every single time that these A pushes were starting to piece itself together for VCU, Meathead was always in a different position. You know, laying prone over inside the alleyways, just waiting for anybody to come down that initial ramp. That one position in particular, you're right to really exclaim, you got to get that trade. And albeit the trade did come through, all Meathead needed was just to understand there's more than one person inside this trailer. That's the information that gets traded back over towards the rest of Full Sail's roster, and then they all rotate back over through their spawn, get behind the AS&D side, and just wait for the push to come over there. That's what makes that A push on Raceway very, very difficult to try to piece together for itself, which, again, continues to raise question marks why VCU was trying it just so often to little to no avail.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of contests, a lot of great shots from Blue there, but you could definitely see a lot more players getting involved, I feel like, for VCU. It just comes down to those final couple rounds that really get the best of them, and you highlighted it. A lot of that coming down to Meathead just picking his moments, picking them well, using that dead silence push that we always talk about. That is so important and valuable in a game like MW2, where you can be heard from quite literally buildings away at times. So very, very well done from him, and then everyone else getting involved. Nick obviously having a couple of big rounds with a sniper rifle, matching Blue wherever he possibly could. But in the end, it's still Full Sail that are leading this series and are sitting quite comfortably in this 2-0 fashion, Andy.
Yeah, again, you know, even from the statistical side of things, what kind of really screams the stark difference in between these rounds and these stats was just the aloof nature that was Meathead with that SMG, both offensive and defensive like, just was making sure that VCU were always kind of tiptoeing around. Not really sure where Meathead was located at, but yeah, I mean, you can't not highlight Blue. 1,200 damage, 11 and 7. Very, very tough to say, hey, the guy's last alive in a lot of these clutch situations, and he damn well almost delivers. You almost feel like that if he did, in fact, have overkill, and he did actually have an M4 on the backside along with that sniper rifle, a lot of these rounds might have been clutched up a whole lot easier, but, you know, that's just the nature that is 4v4 here in multiplayer. You have to really work hard if you are the sniper to be last alive and try to get that round back in your favor.
Certainly the case. Well, 2-0 up will be FSU. A chance to put it away in 3 going into our next hard point. Maybe, again, we'll talk about another story, another fairy tale about a potential reverse sweep. We haven't got one on the day, but we'll see if anything changes going into that map number 3. For now, we'll take a small break. Don't go too far. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back, all you beautiful people, as we get ready to jump into map number 3 here. It's been a very interesting one, at least so far. We had a pretty convincing hardpoint to open this one up, Andy, but we just had a pretty solid search and destroy, a little bit more back and forth. But the bad news is that we're heading into another respawn, and things got to be fixed up very quickly here for VSU.
Yeah, you know, there's got to be a certain amount of respect that obviously does come through when I see that it's FaZe Blue in this lobby with me, and he's pulling a sniper on Crown Raceway of all places. But yeah, I mean, A 2-round win there for Full Sail. They'll have the 2-0 lead going in towards the Greenberg Hotel. Map number 3, again, not playing control in this tournament. We have a third hardpoint to introduce in this best-of-5 series. And look, we're going to have to pull away from all the good things that we could honestly talk about for VCU on that Crown Raceway and really talk about everything that went so swimmingly for Full Sail in that map number 1 on Mercado. You want to talk about a map that absolutely will pander to how Full Sail play that map number 1? Well, look no further, because Hotel is very annoying with all the fixtures, different alleyways, avenues, 1-for-1 positions, where players like Lovell could just be waiting and lying in wait with that M4 in hand, just ready to get another 9 spree going.
Yeah, I mean, there was, what, 2 9 sprees, like, from him individually? Yeah. I mean, that's not even, you know, counting the other 7 sprees and other streaks that were accumulated throughout that map. So they were having their heyday, man. It just felt like they were all over them. There was not really a whole lot they could do against them, and you need to have a little bit more sub-influence inside the hard point. You know, you never want to call for 2 pieces and multi-kills to come in, but you feel like it's necessary against this FSA team. But here we go. VCU trying to find themselves a map. I thought that Semtex was going to take out his teammate for a second, but I think it went right through him.
I guess that's just the perk of having a ghillie suit. So you're immune to Semtexes sticking to you, I suppose. But weird enough as it may be, VCU actually winning the majority. Actually, every single gunfight minus 2 of them. They'll be in here for the Atrium for a certain amount of time. FaZe Blue, getting a little weird there with the desk. Is going to contest some time, but it's more than just getting the Atrium in your favor. Full Sail are trying to collapse on VCU, making sure that they don't have an avenue to get in towards the P2 spawns.
Blue, 3-0. Hell of a way to start off. I mean, he has been solid throughout the entire series. Now in the back, already some early moves being made for the side of Full Sail Armada, trying to lock in those spawns, but Video Stream's going to do his best to try to contest it. Good kill on the back, will be able to play his life, and while all this happens, I mean, VCU, they come out with 45 seconds here.
Yeah, 45 seconds off of P1, which should have been a lot more scrappy, but, I mean, Full Sail just were not able to fully get in towards Atrium, couldn't get couches in their possession, and when we were down to about 20 seconds, they had to bounce back and try to get these back road spawns back in their favor. I mean, Video's still back here trying to keep it contested, allowing the rest of his team to spawn in for concessions.
Good nade. Just about falls short. Nick's going to be able to play the heady now, but he's got a lot of members to deal with. Let's see. The challenge comes around the left. There it is. Break is in. Right to the front. Meathead trying to find something, but instead it's Mystical that's able to find the 2-piece. But it's still time that's going over to the side of VCU right now. I mean, this has been beautiful compared to what we saw in the map number 1.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I mean, everybody is making sure they're in a tradable position for one another. They're doing a great job of just playing a lot of these fixtures. There's so many different head glitches across the entirety of this map of Hotel. I don't need to tell you that, Austin. You already know that all too well. But going in towards a rotation 4-3, this will be Full Sail that do have the close spawns yet again. But they're kind of being pushed back into the corner here. Probably won't be aware of the side door push.
Oh, I would have loved the Video Stream. Just play that a little bit slower, wait for his teammates to get there and maybe pinch. But now it's going to allow a potential setup here for the side of Full Sail. Just a matter of holding on inside the kitchen, and well, this is such a difficult hill to break at times. You have to coordinate perfectly. Blue over the top has just done some of that. The contest spot is good to buy a little bit of time. The trade's even better so far. Meathead gets in there for the double. That should shut things down for a little bit longer, as there is another 25 seconds up for grabs here on P3.
Yeah, required P3 here out of the Armada, and they're going to be able to soak up the back 20 seconds because VCU know damn well they have to get themselves set up over by the bar, but Full Sail are meeting them at the door, or I suppose at the countertop. Bell for 3 in a row, 8 and 5, needs some help to play their life.
All right, there we go. Dragon Dino able to get himself involved. I said we needed to see the subs kind of step a little bit more here on Hotel, and well, how about it? 3 in a row now. Starting to catch some fire. Just need to continue to run with it. As Gudge is now looking to try to set up a little bit more of the defense here from the bar heady. And well, the stun connects, and Mystic's going to spot him a little bit too late. So the setup's still good, but the hit now coming from the front. Contest spot is good for Meathead, just trying to buy some time, but his teammates just cannot get there. And VCU still doing a good job in and around the hills.
Yeah, and look at them zoning through the front lobby as well. You got player number 6 off screen. Gudge is currently pushing through the desk area and is now trying to set themselves up for a pinch, but it gets scouted out, and it's red. And the hit from the desk is going to be better for Full Sail, as Mystical will soak up this this time here. She's probably going to get a nice little 1v1 versus Dragon, but with the pistol, Mystical somehow wins that gunfight. The rest of VCU now look at the rotation going in towards the restaurant hardpoint.
Oh, Meathead, it just feels like he's always behind you. Whenever you haven't seen Meathead in the kill feed, just start turning 180 and just look behind you. He's just here. Oh, man. Finds another one. Good space created. Lavelle trying to get in there for some more of that time. And you can see Blue's playing for the exit, but this is really going to slow down a lot of VCU on the rotation. They still have a chance to kind of cut through connector here and break it open, and it will work out. These are the first initial kill. Blue now needs to get some work done with the pre-fire. Gets great help there from video streams in the back. It's still 50-50 battle, but it looks like they've been able to create some space, and Blue is now on 3.
It just feels like Blue is perpetually one-shot right now, playing in the time. And yeah, again, you got to call for your SMGs here of Dragon to start pushing up. He will find yet another kill. This is a massive break coming through from VCU. They have full possession of the restaurant, but nobody controlling that wine alleyway. We're down to 20 seconds, and the rotation isn't exactly a short one. That's what you're seeing Full Sail on the minimap. Completely concede the space, maybe play a little bit of the side door, but they want to make sure they're set up here for the garage hardpoint.
Certainly do. Judge going to take a route, try to cut right across here. And now everyone else just about with them. You can see the timings have been a little bit better here for VCU when it comes to breaking and rotating together, trying to play trades, even if the gunfights don't always necessarily go their way. But I don't think Dragon's going to be prepared for this challenge. The ladder, he is not. A second one comes out. It's just always jumping around somewhere. Another double for him, looking for 3. But finally, it's Blue to shut him down. Meanwhile, it's Full Sail. They do need this time, but they're losing numbers fast.
Yeah, Meathead with the dead silence play. How could you ever be surprised by Meathead just trying to make a play to get behind enemy lines? Comes up with 3 themselves, but it forces VCU's hand. They try to push through the lower side of bedroom. You just got to deal with Meathead, who actually got gifted a close spawn here for the 6th and final hardpoint within our first set, and that's going to work along quite nicely with Lavelle up top, try to get themselves a handful of more kills, trying to contest the back 20 seconds, and they will do so. Last 1v1 versus video might just sit here and shake each other's hand for a little bit before they actually commit to the gunfight.
A lot of handshaking. Finally. Oh, how about it? That's not an easy gunfight to win. Tries to break the camera. Video stream says no problem. M4 up close will be good. And, well, we come out of the first set of rotations. And, well, I don't know if you witnessed map number 1, but this has been a totally different look. A solid lead of about 30 points or so. And that's going to give VCU a chance to at least slowly work it around P1. Last time we got 45 seconds out of it. We'll see what happens this time around.
It really does feel like that 40 seconds is the difference on P1 within the first set of rotations. That Full Sail just did not play with their food, didn't try to get inside of the parking garage and top catwalk for so long. We'd probably be looking at a very different scoreline. And even right here as well, this is what VCU have done so well through the first set of hardpoints. It's their crossfires. It's making sure that everybody is in a tradable position just to make sure that Full Sail do not have a strength in numbers ahead of this rotation.
They just had to warm up a little bit, Andy. That's all it was, I guess. They're ready and trying to make some moves over towards P2 now in the back. It's a good gunfight to find here from Gudge. Can he get some more? Does have the sub. Not maybe the most ideal weapon to have all the way in the back, but if you can keep it close quarters, it could still work out. Nick trying to search a little bit too much for kills, and will be punished for the aggressive challenge. Still, just about 35 points, give or take here, and it's still VCU winning rotations in the hill, collecting time.
Look at their setup all the way in the back, Austin. They're actually blocking both spawns, inside concessions and over by L as well. VCU have a really solid idea on how to play the second hardpoint on Greenberg Hotel, and they just allowed themselves to set up on these very easy head glitches, wait for the gunfights to come to them. They can seemingly do no wrong. VCU threatening to be over 200 points.
Well, Meathead does get in. And they know just how important this 30 seconds is. You cannot afford to give this over to VCU or this game gets out of reach. So Lavelle gets in there for a couple kills. And now if you can keep them pinned to the back, all of a sudden this game does become manageable for a comeback. Free fire comes through. Video streams will have none of it. Breaks on in for the scrap time. 15 seconds over to them. But now you have to win this rotation, and Meathead already on a good spot, or rather in a good spot to find that first kill.
Gotta respect that on a blue. A little heat check on a Meathead who just holds down the trigger. Be able to get that kill on rotation to this kitchen hardpoint. You need this to be 50 seconds or bust for Full Sail to work your way back in towards the game. You have one player in Mystical playing all the way in the back, making sure that the spawn stays secure, but they're going to need some help up front here soon.
Blue, key kill. And look at them try to break this setup down. There's still one more player all the way in the back, so Blue's flank will not work off screen. Nick in the hill, though, has found 3 in a row. He's stopping anybody trying to move through. And now the contest spot even being watched. We'll see how they try to set it up. First peek will just be completely obliterated here. Nick on 4. Maybe looking at earning some streaks, but in the back, Hutch has been able to find himself a kill, but can't connect with the second, but it's enough to get VCU in. Now it's a matter of holding, and they have done exactly that. This scrap time is massive here for them.
Yeah, it's going to be the difference whether or not they actually get over 230 points, and Full Sail is going to allow them to get closer towards 250 points, so that way they can try to rotate over towards the next hard point here at Bar. You can get yourself a very strong setup so long as you deal with these players in the back.
On the side, Blue able to find one. Rotational kills coming in, but Meathead will be able to respond back. It's a Full Sail. They're going to have to play some of that perfect hard point that we always talk about here. A full hold is absolutely needed. You cannot afford to let this team break.
Streams is on 5. Blue's going to start crossing, but some streaks might honestly come into play if Video can win this gunfight. He's incredibly low, still just holding the angle. Some help from the bottom bedroom side, but someone needs to deal with this player over here. Finally will be traded out is Nick, but Dragon takes Video off of that 6-free. Getting that streak might have been the difference maker because you still have close spawns for Full Sail.
Oh, you had to imagine that was miscommunication coming through, but Full Sail, they have done exactly what we asked of them. They have been able to lock in 40 seconds. You still want the remaining 20. You might be late to the rotation, but it still gives you a chance to work back into this game. We'll see what they're going to be able to do. Streak available here for Video streams. He's 31-14, but he gets cut down on the rotation. This is a scary moment right now for the side of VCU. They're going to have to hold, and they have to win gunfights.
Look at player number 4 on the minimap. Nick is taking the longest route this side of the Mississippi. It allows Lavelle to spawn in effectively for P2, but the hard point is very much so still in possession of VCU.
Nick needs to go big, can only deliver on 1. Lavelle, can he get 2? Needs to try to come up big. Everybody's weak, but it's time still going over up until Mystical gets the 2-piece from the pinch. Big moment coming in here now as Full Sail Armada, they've worked themselves into the hard point, but they need to set up and hold. Kills from Nick and Lavelle continue to rain on through, but Video streams in Blue have a chance to end it right here, but Lavelle shuts him down from the side. Over the top, Meathead gets in there for 1. Dragon trying to play his life to the point. Guns right behind him, 5 seconds needed. Nick gets in for 1. Needs to stay alive on the point, and the hill will go neutral. Full Sail Armada, they're staying alive.
Staying alive for now. 5 seconds are all that required. You're completely okay with this if you are VCU. Might just be a little over egregious. The amount of players that you sent to try to break inside that hardpoint, it allowed Armada to move through the middle of the map, get themselves set up inside the upper bedroom ahead of the garage hardpoint.
All comes down to this. All comes down to this right here in VCU. They might have just done it. Nobody will entry into the point. It gets a little dicey, but they managed to close it out and extend this series to a map number 4.
Ooh, I'm not gonna lie, I got a little sweaty right there, Austin. I don't know if it's just my softboxes, my lights, and everything else in between, a couple monitors as well, but that last restaurant hardpoint, ooh, that was a little egregious of VCU to hit that as many times as they did. You only needed 8 seconds to close out this map number 3 and at least force of map number 4. But because you were spending so much time to try to brute force your way back in for those final 8 seconds, it almost allowed the Armada to fully work their way through the atrium and get set up inside of the bedroom, inside valet, if you will, to try to get themselves in a better position to try to contest garage early. The biggest issue was, of course, spawning behind the kitchen for VCU. They were allowed to get in the upper areas of that garage where the hardpoint actually is first, set up the crossfires, make sure that everything was squeaky clean to close out that map number 3 and at least the force the map 4.
Well, I gotta say, man, I didn't expect that to be, the outcome going into this map 3 compared to what we just saw on map number 1, which was, just complete ego channels. I mean, you had said it, like, it looked like a pub lobby at times, like, just with some of the highlights that were coming in. But VCU, for whatever reason, have just been able to pull it back together and just put on a performance. I mean, look at Video streams here. It felt like, I think he was maybe like double negative, in that first map, but then he puts up 34 kills with 18 deaths and 2 minutes in the hill, man. Like, just a complete turnaround here from this squad looking over this hotel map.
Yeah, it's kind of absurd, too, when you're looking at the entire right side of the statistics here. You take a look at the objective kills, and you have Video streams, obviously, the highlight player here with 15, 2 minutes in the hill, like you were talking about. But even from top to bottom for Full Sail, 2 minutes of hardpoint time for Mystical, 14 objective kills, 12 objective kills for Lavelle, 12 for Nick. But that does really go to show all of these kills that were happening inside the objective didn't mean anything because Full Sail were just finding trades at that point. They couldn't fully set up within that first set of hard points. It was all VCU the majority of the time until the end of that second set. It really did feel like that VCU were building themselves quite a big lead. That Full Sail, again, might have played with their food just a little bit off the early stages of that game as they did spawn off on the favorite side of the map. Not necessarily get double arches fully in their favor, nor couches. They allowed VCU to get 40 points off of P1 in the very first hardpoint. Things you absolutely cannot allow to have happen.
No, most certainly cannot. And we also call for the subs being a little bit more involved. Maybe they don't have the sexiest stat line out there, but Gudge and Dragon Dino, certainly putting in a lot more work when it comes down to at least playing around the objective, finding those moments to roam around. And we'll take a look at the map set here again, of course. I mean, we go back to map number 1, very dominating for the most part based off what we saw, 250 to 147. We saw a very close search and destroy go back and forth up until we got to about round number 9. And then we just get a complete turnaround when it comes down to the respawns here, where we get the 250 to 238 closeout, despite getting a little bit spicy in the end. But now we head back over, go back to Fortress here, Andy, to see if VCU can keep up that same performance.
I actually really love this map for VCU, specifically of what we got to see off of the hotel, because, Blue, say what you will, he's mechanically gifted, obviously. If you've never watched any of their content specifically, they are very talented for a reason, but even more so than that, actually opted in to play the selfless role, and was more often than not actually setting themselves up in the time and trying to break for scrap. More than anything, and it really enabled video streams to come alive. That level of production that all VCU were missing from Mercado was that slight adaptation that did come all the way through. They were a little bit more inclined to play for the future, zoning away rather than just playing inside the hardpoint. That same level of productivity can also be kind of exploited here on Fortress Hardpoint, especially when you're thinking about some of the money hills that we have ahead of ourselves.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, it just feels like there's so many hills. You got close spawn, you got ARs kind of set up where they need to be in some of that upper area. You can really, just turn every hill into a money hill without a doubt whatsoever here. But I feel like, VCU, just knowing that they were able to close that one out, and to be honest, it could also have been more dominating for them if they had closed out the restaurant hill even sooner. It could have been like a 250 to like 180 or 190 or something like that. So now that they know they've got that in them, I feel like that sets you up a little bit more going into the rest of the series here, and obviously taking it map by map to potentially see another search and destroy, because if so, it'd be a heck of an accomplishment here for a lot of these guys, and I'm sure it would feel great with all the work they've been putting in, and Blue's trying to help teach these guys and get them on the same page. It certainly came together, at least in the last map. So it's a matter of trying to keep that consistency, trying to make sure everyone can keep doing what they're doing. And if video streams, continues to put up 34 with 2 minutes in the hill casually, then yeah, we very well might see map number 5 here.
Yeah, Fortress could be the map to do so, right? The same thing that we could talk about when it comes down to Lovell and the numbers that they were able to produce, not only just on that hotel loss by 12 points, but also on the Mercado 250 to 147 map win as well. A lot of different avenues, opportunities to either get really up close and personal with the M4. It is pretty accurate from the hip fire. I'll just use that as a phrase. And then also you can set yourself up from long range as well through that mid lane cross when you are thinking about the rotation from 2 to 3, 3 to 4, or vice versa. This is an AR's playground, or this entire game is an AR's playground. So it's very difficult to not find value with the M4 for sure. But I think that conversation then needs to be kind of brought into the next level. I think that this map specifically, whether or not we go to a map 4 or 5, 100% relies on the productivity that's either going to be brought by Meathead or Dino, your two SMGs on both sides.
I like that right there. We'll see if they can get very much involved on a map like Fortress, where you can at least make some flank plays, make those steady plays, and Meathead, at least we know for sure, is not afraid to hit that sprint button and hit the back or hit whatever he wants to, man. But let's see what we get. Once again, map number 4, just about everything has ended here. Or in map number 3. We'll see if we get our first map 5 on the day as we kick it off.
Starting off on the favorite side, this time it is Full Sail. And I actually really love this from VCU. You send one player towards the hill, but look at how rogue Video is. He hasn't even gotten an engagement, hasn't seen a soul, but he's already passed dub steps, and is full Sail to spot in for P3.
Here we go in the back. Dragon Dino, he said he needs to make some of these plays happen. Up top, he's going to try to do the best to clear out some of the high ground and that will be an easy pickup there onto Lavelle. Now it's about attacking the hill. He's got to know he's inside, but what a jump shell, what a read. Won't get the second. Gudge is there for the trade. And now VCU, they have the favorite side of the map, and they're still collecting some of that scrap time.
Well, you got to be asking yourself, where's Meathead? We haven't seen Meathead in a little bit. Well, they will end up getting that trade. Meathead was trying to make the heroic play, maybe finding a handful of kills and blocking out the spawns ahead of this stage hardpoint. But it will be VCU in here first and foremost. They do have these close spawns. Do need some help here for Blue inside the hardpoint.
Blue was trying to go to the jump-up spot there. And, well, it's going to actually cost him on the break from the front. Now, Gudge trying to make something happen from the back. Spawns look like they could still be in, and they are, but it's still a pinch play in the back. Dragon Dino able to turn onto one. Blue doesn't get the trophy down in time, so Nick's going to be able to create a bit of space. So now you don't have the spawns in the back, but you can still hold this from the front. That is if you can cut through the subs. Dragon Dino just gets right back in, no problem.
This 2 SMG setup right now for VCU is actually working out quite well with how close proximity a lot of these gunfights were starting to unfold there on P2. 16 seconds is what's going to be conceded here for Full Sail, knowing damn well that they have to get themselves set up for P3, but it's a little bit of a split spawn affair, and VCU were completely unaware of it.
Well, now it's all about P3 here. And, well, I mean, if you didn't know, you could take a look at the mini-map, and you can clearly see that this is absolutely the money hill on the map. It's also trying to exit out afterwards, but you need to try to get a good 45 seconds if you can. But how do you break it? You have to try to get some good stuns and nades, but Mystical is just holding the double doors without a problem. Dragon Dino looking to try to push through up top, and, well, that is a clean feed here right off the bat.
Lavelle's in the spot. Good luck trying to gun this guy off of this position inside the hardpoint. I mean, Video is going to have to try his best, but remember, he's got a Vaznev versus the AR head glitch crouched on the hardpoint itself, and I mean, you can see VCU at least trying to get the idea that a lot of this break and push actually needs to start being put together through maps, but when you have a player that's playing that head glitch on top of the box where Nick was located at, it is so much easier said than done. A full 60 here for Full Sail. VCU completely conceding the space, setting themselves off at Art.
And the exits haven't really been guarded too well, have they? I mean, you already got 2 players who have been able to get out basically for free. I think the setup's a little bit too tight here for VCU, and Nick is now going to be able to potentially influence the spawns in the back, but that is a key kill that follows. So the close spawn's still good here for VCU for now, but Meathead's up top, Meathead's here, and that means he's going to be able to find a couple kills. Last one up's going to be Blue, and he's now also going to be shrugged off the angle. Nick will finish him off.
Such a fast break coming through from Full Sail Armada. Shades of what we saw from the Mercado map number 1, and they are just feasting. Lavelle on 5. Sees kill number 6, at least through the hallway. Needs to be careful over by rails. That's where Dragon actually pounces from. But no! Blue! That's not the Semtex you're looking for!
It is most certainly not. And that's going to cost them not only the initial hit here, but look at how difficult it's going to be to try to get back into the building. Meathead up top. He's playing like he's an AR right now. 4 kills to his name in a row. 11 and 6 in total. Trying to earn some streaks, but won't be allowed to. However, this has been, you know, a very dominating last couple of hills here. Very solid holes from Full Sail.
Yeah, that's one word you can certainly say. I mean, the past 2 hard points, Austin, it's been about 80 to maybe about 15 in Full Sail's favor. Yeah. That's how much points they were able to put together between 3 and 4. Now going over towards the final hardpoint in our first set of rotations here at Forge. You can make this a money hill, but again, just look at the mini-map. It is being dissected to a high degree out of Full Sail Armada. Dragon, I asked for some productivity to come out from this young man. 14 and 9 is going to be good enough to keep VCU in the hardpoint for now.
Gonna need a couple more of those moments here to match what Meathead's been able to do so far in the game. But Gudge up top, AR in hand, trying to at least provide some cover fire. He's going to be able to spot on a couple, but kind of exposes himself there. So easy pickings there for Lavelle. He's going to be able to move in for a couple video streams, though, still maintaining at least decent proximity to the point. Now I'm just going to tuck himself away and just hope his teammates find kills.
That's a cute little pistol you got there, video streams. What are you going to do with that bad boy, though? I mean, the hardpoint's being contested. Mystical's on the other side, does have some help, and they will get that final kill. Just 2 seconds left to be soaked in, but it's more annoying. VCU have to deal with more than anything. They had themselves a pretty good look, especially when it came down to P1 going into P2, but I mean, Full Sail completely flipped this first set of hardpoints on its head. Lavelle on another 5-3 because, of course, they are beaming from range. There's kill number 6, cruise missile in the back pocket.
Oh, cruise missile in, seeing if he can maybe earn the SAE as well. And this is the trap you don't want to be in right now, just on this P3 side of the map, trying to just battle out of your spawn, and they will be able to run all the way through stables. but Lavelle is still up top. 8 in a row for him, fully streaked out. And Full Sail Armada, while all this happens, they've been able to collect 35 seconds uncontested.
That was the most awkward fall down engagement I've ever seen in my life. I don't even think that Blue knew that Nick was there. But yeah, I mean, towards the end here of the second P1, Nick just hits it. He just hits that and finds 2. 6 free for Nick. That's now 2 cruise missiles in the back pocket for Full Sail Armada with double the amount of points that VCU have.
163 to just about 95. We'll see if they're going to be able to lock anything in with some kind of a quick break. They have to get to the point, and well, this is what happened in map number 1 when the ARs start picking up steam. They start steamrolling. Another one for Nick Singh. Who's next? Who dare crosses? You're not getting into P2. Not with this man down low like this. Stuns, nades, everything raining in front of him, but he is mowing them down. Kill after kill rains in. Dragon Dino gets around the back, and he's going to have to make a big individual play.
Oh, he didn't even see Nick down there. Okay, we'll end up turning and taking down Nick, so the thought of lapping cruise missiles will not end up being there, but even more pressure to be had here for VCU as Full Sail are setting themselves up quite wonderfully here at the end of the scrap time at the stage hardpoint. We were seeing so much battle going down in bottom single that we didn't even really get to see what was happening inside the hardpoint because nobody from VCU seemingly was able to get over here. Now they got to chalk it and rotate on the south side of the map, trying to break into the hardpoint. That really bounced Full Sail into such a big lead that they got in the first set.
Meathead just being an excellent sub, man. Just running at his opponents, getting information. And now Lavelle knows, well, everyone's coming off of spawn, so he's going to be able to get 1, get information on 2 more. And Full Sail Armada, they might be able to close it out here as the streaks just start to rain in.
Yep. It's Nick in that same position. Actually gives it up top maps because there needs to be some help picked up over by the stables after they lost their player inside the hard point. And yeah, there's Meathead again, just picking up the scraps. We'll end up getting inside the hard point. 15 seconds are all Full Sail need.
Well, they have been able to at least keep it a little bit scrappy. It's not a full hold like we saw last time. Dragon Dino trophy down, but Nick's going to put the pressure on. And that will be 3 players now dropping. Last one left alive here from the front. And he'll also be dealt with. Just a few more seconds to put this one away. P3 hold will be good. Full Sail Armada will also be good to move on with a 3-1 victory here in the lower bracket.
100-point club, 3-1 victory at that here on the Fortress hardpoint. And yeah, I mean, you know, I talked about it. It's 50 Shades of Mercado Las Almas when it comes down to hardpoint here for Full Sail Armada. Because, I mean, you said it just so beautifully. Once the ARs just start piecing together what we're seeing out of Nick and Lavelle, I mean, Meathead's job just becomes so much easier. I mean, you know, you're a main sub in this game. You totally get it. Dude, if ARs are just piecing together crosses like that, Meathead can continuously go unnoticed for a lot of these different flanks. And again, it is the tale of 2 different evils of productivity for SMGs on 2 different sides. It is also, I guess, a testament of Call of Duty's history that when your ARs are creating so much space for an SMG just to lurk and find all these different opportunities on a map like Fortress, I mean, the SMG can absolutely just feel right at home.
Absolutely. Incredible stuff there after, you know, what was a shaky hotel map, but certainly able to get the job done just like we had kind of seen in the map number 1. We'll take a look back at the stats, and I mean, everybody is 23 kills plus. Like, this is ridiculous. And they're also sharing a lot of this hill time, maybe outside of Meathead, because this guy's always behind you. He's on the flank. I mean, he's just everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Don't ask me how. But everyone else, of course, inside the hill doing what they need to do. And I mean, you already highlighted, Andy, when you have ARs just shooting like this, it just makes your job so easy to roam around the map.
Blue did not want their 10 and 20 odd stat line to be showcased here, but I saw Blue. You can't hide from me. But yeah, I mean, even I'm sorry, but even like Meathead too. Like, look at his assists. Meathead had 8 assists for 24 and 15. He had more assists than Lavelle, who was shooting an M4 so straight in this entire map. That just really goes to show you just how much damage Meathead was finding throughout the majority of this. He's actually led the lobby in damage as a main sub. It's just absurd. Impressive. Yeah. I'll continue to be right here with you, brother, and just singing the praise of just how good and how comfortable Meathead looks in all of these maps that were played in this best of 5 set.
Yeah, I mean, beautiful stuff here. We'll take a look back at the maps to see how everything came together here from start to finish, and it was a 2-0 advantage that went up early here for the side of Full Sail Armada. And, well, we saw that map number 1. I think we had different expectations on how map number 3 would go, but that was where we actually got a bit of a bounce back and got to see some very well-constructed Call of Duty played for our opposition here. But in the end, unfortunately, we go back over and Full Sail say, all right, we're not going to any kind of map number 5, not today, and they get the job done in a 100-point club fashion.
No, it might be for the best. I mean, honestly, I had map number 5 as a CeeLo, but hey, if it was going to a map 5, Mercado Los Alamos, I'm not going. I don't want to see Lovell anywhere near that map. If I'm on the other side, now if I'm in the same ace lobby and I'm on a team with Lovell, yeah, I was going to Mercado, baby, all day.
Absolutely,
that dude's a menace.
Yeah, he was just some of the jump chows we were getting into that guy. He was just feeling himself, dude. He was in the zone. Like there was just certain times where you're just a player on the map and they're just living in your world, and that was certainly
and then you're
one of
not
those
on the map anymore because Lovell just beeps you.
Yeah, constantly. Very impressive stuff, but unfortunately, we will say goodbye to VCU here as that was their last match. Of course, we only have lower bracket matches for the rest of today, and we still have one more lower bracket match to see exactly who's going to be able to make it to loser quarters so we can play out the rest of those games for tomorrow. So for a moment, we'll take a small break here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll set up our next matchup. Don't go too far.